Joyride, 1957, a novel of intrigue by J.P. Wasnower, Chapter 81. The librarian continued the massage, often rubbing up against his body. He now realized he had another problem, but he let her continue anyway. Finally, she stopped massaging. "You're a lifesaver," he said. "You feel better?" she said, noting his other problem. "Yes, thank you very much. I'll just finish up here. Thanks again," he said. "If you would like, I can give you a full massage. It should prevent future headaches," she said, lightly kissing his ear. "I don't know," he said. "Come by the library just before 9. I close up then. I've also got some archival materials from Immaculate that you might be interested in," she said, kissing his ear again. He stared up at her full figure, then her light blue eyes. "I will come after supper," he said. She smiled. "I'll make it worth your while," she said, then turned and went back to her desk. James had not noticed the tall man in the black suit in the stacks behind his table, nor the priest at another desk across the room. It was 6 o'clock when James arrived back at his hotel room in the Royal Anne. Bree was still asleep, and his headache was not completely gone, as the librarian had promised, so he slid under the covers, wrapped his arms around Bree, and they both dozed for another hour. His pursuers all made it to supper in the main hotel dining room. The KGB officer ate with the priest from Immaculate. The twins ate with Misty. And with what she ate, they expected her to pick up the tab, and she did. The threesome went into the bar across Bernard Avenue and met up with 3 French Canadians. They were hockey players, and they played for the Kelowna Packers. The 3 hit it off, as BJ could speak fluent French. All 6 eventually found themselves in Misty's hotel room at the Royal Anne. Despite a few calls from hotel security, the group had what could be termed nothing less than a grand evening. James and Bree ordered room service, and then, despite mild protests from the still travel-weary Bree, James headed for the library. When he arrived, the door was open. He went in and saw no one but the librarian. She beckoned him back into the stacks, and presently they were in her office. She seated him beside her desk, then sat. "How was your evening? I hope you had something to eat," she said. "Yes, and you?" "I always bring dinner," she said, "usually a sandwich or something," she said, putting her hand over his on the desk. "You said?" "I have it right here." She pulled a folder from the desk drawer and handed it to him. He grasped it with his free hand and noted a Catholic symbol at the top. Then he opened it. "Where did you get this?" he asked. "You don't want to know. I have heard about your travels, and the library keeps all the Immaculate Conception documents. I reviewed them all, and I once heard of your escape, or whatever it was, from the Helena Hospital. I decided if you came this way, I would let you view this one," she said, squeezing his hand tightly. He began to file through the document. It spoke of Father Pandosi and his setting up the mission here in Kelowna in 1859. However, the next page spoke at some length about Father Pandosi's interaction with the native population, the fur traders and the native Canadians. And then he saw it. The next paragraph spoke of a conversation in which the natives, rather their forefathers, had met with some white men at least 6 generations before Father Pandosi conversed with him. James sat back. His skin turned to goosebumps. This was the first hint that the Kensington party may have come farther west, or some white men had done so. He couldn't believe it. "You are amazing," he said. The librarian now leaned over his back. He grabbed her hand, destabilizing her balance. She ended up seated in his lap. The 2 kissed. "How's your head, James?" she asked. "Still a little painful, but better." "Let me give you a full massage. I guarantee it will cure you." She got a pad from the corner, put it on her desk, and beckoned him to lay down.